Hi, this is Oster, and this Thursday I reached the 6 month, a whole, whole half year in my testosterone journey. So obviously I'm going to make a video, and yeah, it was 2 days ago, Thursday, so I'm a little bit late, but a half a year, 6 months. I look back at some pictures even in April, which wasn't that long ago, and I still I mean, I'm not saying that I cannot recognize myself, but it feels like looking at my childhood pictures. I I definitely looked 12, so that's probably a part of it. But it still feels like looking at really old photos. Like it's, I'm not gonna say that it feels like it's not even me because it does a bit, but it's definitely like from a different life. Like if I had a past life, and I know to some extent that it's me, but I don't fully um, recognize myself or vibe with myself. So even in April, looking at pictures from April, it's a bit strange. And obviously, when I look at pictures from before starting testosterone, it's even wilder. So obviously, a lot has changed in any ways imaginable, and it's been tracked throughout the videos, so I don't have to remind you what changed because you can see both visually and the voice, obviously, and luckily the way that people perceive me is changed. And despite all of that, and I know that I will sound ungrateful, I don't know why I have this feeling. I definitely know that today is a really hard day for me. If you feel and hear me searching for words and my English is not the best, I am really tired in a way that I'm not mm, physically tired. I'm mentally tired. I It's not a good day for the autism and ADHD and anxiety and everything for me. I quite proud of myself right now because I went to the shops and I bought myself the milk and the bread that I needed because tomorrow is gonna be closed because it's Sunday, and I really did not want to do that. I really didn't want to just talk to people and meet with people. And it's true that I had my noise cancelling headphone on the whole time, and I obviously had anxiety about that because it's really great that I cannot hear the noise and I can listen to my music, so I can shut out the outside world. But at the same time, I'm anxious that I'm shutting out the outside world and what do people think, especially that I don't know if it's a common thing in Spain to wear these overhead earphones in public. I never really saw anyone do it, so maybe because they say hello to each other all the time and they are very social, so maybe it's a sign of disrespect that you're shutting them out. It's definitely coming from my parents because they always assumed it when I was listening to music, even not with headphones, just in my room. If the music was loud enough that I couldn't hear them, for the first time that they were shouting my name, they saw it as a sign of disrespect that I'm shutting them out, and it's not appropriate behavior. So probably I have this fear in me that people will judge me just because I'm listening to music in my headphones, in my earphones, in public. But I really do not know if it's a cultural thing here or not. And also I'm a bit anxious about if I don't hear my surrounding noises, which is good. That is the reason why I'm wearing noise canceling headphones. But I do want to know what's happening around me, and if for example someone is behind me and they say, oh sorry, like, I want to pass by, I won't be able to hear them. So I actually, most of the time I have to have this middle way of one is on and one is like slightly off my ear so I can hear a little bit. I have to sacrifice some of the peace and quietness and the joy of listening to the music so that I can perceive my surroundings as well. But I did it. I went to the shops, I bought everything, I survived. During these days, and like most days, but these days definitely, I even hate the idea of it really bothers me when I'm walking on the sidewalk and there's some people on the sidewalk and I know it's not their fault. Uh, but if I have to maneuver around them because I walk pretty fast and they usually walk slowly, especially if they are elderly, and I just in these days I hate human interaction so much and I just want to like everyone to disappear and it to be quiet. Like during lockdown, when I went to the city, everything was quiet. Not one car, not one people, not one soul on the streets. It was just birds chirping and really, really calm. I want on these days. I want that, and even people walking on the sidewalk and me having to exist in the same air bubble as them is an inconvenience because I never know which way should I try to go around them, and if I, like these things happen that I want to go around them on the right, but they don't know that they don't know that I'm there behind their back. So for some reason they lean to the right. Then I have to go the other way. It's like a weird social dance, and it usually bothers me a little bit below the surface. But when it's a good day and I'm not mentally tired, I can deal with it. But on these days, everything just feels too much. Um, so yeah, probably I will be less optimistic or less positive about my testosterone journey or my changes as well, because of the fact that I'm not my best version today. And I also I'm trying to talk to myself in a way during these situations, um, in a way that it's supporting. And I read books about it, and I know that the inner monologue is really important, and I shouldn't be hard on myself, and I shouldn't judge myself, because it's not helping. It's just making things worse. But it's really hard because I know that the majority of people, those people who are not neurodivergent, they don't struggle with this, and it's really hard not to feel like a failure or like something is wrong with me, because I even these small tasks feel really hard for me on these days. Um, I have a feeling that this video is gonna be more about my mental well-being than my transition. I know that the two are linked, and just to get back on the T train, I don't know, like on days like this when I'm perceived as a man, to my knowledge, like 100% of the time or like 90% of the time, and life is so much better than it ever was, and I see changes, and even the changes that I'm not satisfied with yet, or I'm just mm, not patient enough. I want them to happen faster. Even with everything, it's like amazing. And even though I am in this really good state, and I consciously know how much better I am than I was in this state, especially being perceived as who I am as a man. And when I think about how I used to live with the stress and the anxiety and the social stuff remained. Like obviously, testosterone is not going to cure everything. It's not the depression, the depression, the anxiety, the autism, the ADHD won't just exit the group chat because I started testosterone. But it's obvious. So I had that the same amount before transitioning, and I also had this monumental amount of stress of not being seen as who I am and trying and still not passing, and knowing that people look at me funny because they cannot decide which gender I am. Before it was like I know that 100% they don't perceive me as the gender that I am, that they think that I'm a girl, and I know that I am not, but they don't, and they don't treat me in a way that I want them to because they do not see me in a way that I want them to. And later on, it was like ambiguous. Like I knew that they were guessing, and I never knew which side they decided to stay. Like, I think it's a girl. I think it's a boy. I never know what their internal monologues were. I if they let me go first in the door, I never knew it was because they are just like gentlemen and they are nice people, or they did it because they assumed that I was a girl. So even the nice gestures, I couldn't open them with open arms, greet them with open arms, because I never knew it was because gender stuff or not. So just thinking about that, I had to deal with the same amount of anxiety and like mentally draining stuff, and on top of that, I was in the wrong. I never phrased it like this. I was in the wrong body. I don't like this phrasing when it's about me, especially. But still, like being not out as a trans person and not presenting in a way that I want to, and still having to deal with all this stuff. I don't know how I did it. Like right now it's so difficult, and I shouldn't have to deal with this stuff anymore because I'm passing. The only thing that now that is bothering me is like, oh, okay, but like, I don't know. The things that I talked about, like if I'm wearing a bigger earring or like a really colorful necklace or something really like feminine, like it's not feminine but mostly associated with girls wearing them, then maybe they will like look at me like, why is a boy wearing that? But this is my biggest issue right now, and not the fact that this will make me look like a woman. It's just like they will judge me because I'm a guy wearing this kind of stuff. Like right now when I'm wearing a skirt, and I wore a skirt to a music festival. It was like the most hippie, most open, most gay shit ever. So obviously I knew that this was my opportunity. This was the 4 days of the week of the year that I will definitely uh, feel the safest going out in a skirt. Or I painted my nails. It was blue, white, and black in a cool order, and because it's a small city, a small village, and even though people are, to my knowledge, they are very accepting. At least I have the privilege right now that even if they talk shit about me, I do not understand yet. So I don't know how accepting they are, but in actions there wasn't any problem until this point. But I knew that during this festival I can definitely do what the fuck ever I want, and that was the reason that I wore a skirt for the first time in my life since I transitioned. I wore a skirt outside, and I'm not saying that I was like super comfortable because obviously it was a lot of pressure because I had to get used to it, and the gender dysphoria was hitting hard, but I looked amazing. I for a fact like that's objectively that it looked cool as fuck, and it didn't make me look like a girl as much as I was afraid of that. And I think in like 1 or 2 hours I got used to it pretty good, and I was dancing and I wasn't paying too much attention to that, so it was really good. What I was saying, I know, is that right now my biggest issue is what I'm wearing is gonna make some people think like, "Ooh, why is he wearing that?" But they're not like I think I talked about it in a video before that I am waiting for the moment where I can wear an earring, and people's biggest issue will be like, why is a boy wearing an earring, and not the earring itself won't be the reason why people who are on the fence of deciding like, oh, is it a girl, is it a boy, oh no, yeah, wearing an earring, then that's a girl. So it's not the reason why people decide now which gender they think I am, which is amazing. And this is my biggest issue right now, and still with this mental stuff it's really hard, and I have no idea how I dealt with that. Maybe it's like feeling pain. They say that you cannot feel two kinds of pain at once, so the bigger pain always wins and you can just focus on one thing. So maybe that was the biggest issue for me, and it made me really sad and really anxious and really like made me have a hard time. But maybe it overshadowed the other stuff, and now that it's gone, the other stuff, the social stuff, just emerged to the surface, and now this is my biggest issue that I have to work on. So yeah, it definitely doesn't have that the situation that I was talking about in the last video, me having a crush on a boy, is still like doing nothing, or like even worse, because if it did nothing and it was just like declining and declining, and me getting no response, or me being sure that there's nothing that I can do and there's no chance, I think it would be easier than this, where it's like two little steps ahead, two big jumps uh back to the starting line, and then we get to like we become a little bit more friendly, and we have a really good night out with other friends, and we're talking a lot, and we're talking in a really close distance, and I'm having the best amazing time of my life. And then after that it's just nothing again. And in his defense, it's not toxic behavior. It's not him doing a push and pull. It's me reading stuff into the situations that I shouldn't be. Um, so yes, and there was like a week, almost 2 weeks, when his behavior just was really avoidant and really I don't know, maybe some personal stuff happened, and I started to think that okay, maybe we cannot even be friends because he was like really distant. Also, we didn't have any opportunities to meet. We didn't have any projects together. No, nothing. So I was getting the idea that okay, he's definitely like doesn't even like me. Like as a person, he just doesn't like me. Uh, and then we had a reunion of some sorts, and now everything is fine again. So this is not good. This is not good for me now. Anyway, I think it's mostly about the ads. My transition is like that. I really like my hair now. I wanted to have a haircut, but then we had some programs, and I knew that I would be back too late for the haircut, and also it was quite expensive, so I didn't want to do that. But then I'm not that sad that it got cancelled because I wanted to get the size really short and like basically have the same haircut that my brother does, which is good, I think. But I love my little shit right now, and I think I love the fact that the most that I loved about this thing is that I can have a little bit of longer hair and I can have my hair showing from behind my neck, and I still don't feel dysphoric about it. I don't feel like it's a girl's haircut, and it happened before. Like anytime that my hair got too long during my transition or before my transition, I just felt so fucking shitty because it felt like, oh, it looks like a bob. Like maybe I passed a little bit before that, but now with this hair, it's definitely not giving boy. And right now, it's just like hippie boy, and I love the fact that I can have a little bit of longer hair right now because I love longer hair. Um, I think I will cut a bit of this because I don't like it when it just like goes to two sides. I like when it's in the middle, but the sides and the long, like the length of it, I love it. So that's it about my hair. Obviously, you can see that I have lots of pimples. I don't know what's going on. I became lactose intolerant when I came to Spain. I don't know what they are feeding the cows here, but I never had it before. And now, whenever I eat something with normal milk, or especially if I drink the milk itself, I just have really like itchy rashes all over my arm and my stomach, so I cannot. So um, that is connected to the pimples. Like I've thought, some people say that they leave out dairy from their diet all the way, and like their skin becomes better. But I think it's just because of the testosterone. So I don't know if I should change something in my diet or not because I think it's just the hormones. Um, right now, it's I think it's the worst that it ever was. But if we are looking at my face from real close, you can also see that I've got some things here. All right, that's good. Um, I have some facial hair. This is still nothing. I mean, a little bit. I noticed that it was like on my upper lips, because everyone has that obviously, and it got a bit darker. Then I shaved it, and it still didn't. I think it still didn't grow back to the original length. Thing. It was like a month ago, too. But I noticed, and I don't know if you can notice, but it was just over my upper lip, and now this is going up to my nose, like two little lines are crawling up to my nose. So maybe that's some more masculine shape, but this is good. I'm proud of this. I don't know if I should cut it or not because if I cut it, it doesn't grow back for like 2 months. Um, and I don't like it when I don't have it because I think this little shadow here um helps me a lot with the gender stuff. So I really like it, but I don't want it to look unmaintained. So I don't know. Maybe I would just cut the length, but not shave it. I don't fucking know. I never had a beard before. I don't know what to do with it. Um, Also, things are coming in a little bit here and like here. I don't know if you can see it, probably not. Oh yeah, you can a bit, but nothing here, nothing here. It was just below my chin, and now there's like a little bit hair growing here, so I think it's like filling this area in. On the 4th, 5th, and 6th, I'm going back to Hungary, and actually not Hungary, I just have to go to Hungary to be able to go to Vienna to my appointment, my 6 month appointment to have my second shot. Because like for the first month, I was on half dose, and the changes that because I don't know what I'm expecting. I think I just saw some uh, way back, not now, but I saw some videos about people who took testosterone, and I think their 6 month mark showed a bigger change than mine does. And I know that mine shows a lot. I know that there are trans guys several years on testosterone who still cannot grow any beard. And I know that I shouldn't call this a beard, but it's still something, and they have nothing. So I know that I should be grateful because it's actually like my face changed a lot. But I think I'm still not as satisfied with my changes as I should be, or as I thought that I would be, just because I saw some people changing a whole lot, and I follow some YouTubers. Obviously, they are taking testosterone for 6 years now, and I see their journey, and I see where they are right now, and I feel like I'm not there yet. And obviously, yeah, because I'm not 6 years but 6 months, like I'm not gonna be there. But I think the thing that I'm not as satisfied with as I thought I would be is the face. I know that it's changed a lot, but still my jawline or something, I don't know. I would also love it if I didn't have pimples, because it just makes me feel like I'm just a 14-year-old teenager, and I'm 21. And I know that part of the reason is that the guy that I have a crush on is much older, not yet in his 40s but almost. And I just know that if you look at someone and they have pimples and they have a voice as a teenager, even though you know that they are 21, if they don't look their age, it's impossible for you to have a crush on them, because you just see them as a little kid, like as a minor. No matter how good conversations we have, how much I share my opinions about stuff. Like I know that I couldn't take someone 100% seriously, even though I know their age and I hear their opinions and I know their inner self. But if they look like a 16-year-old boy, it's still not gonna work out. So I think I'm a little bit pissed about my pimples now. I never cared about my pimples at all, but now I think I'm a bit pissed because I know that they make me look younger, and it's a common problem with trans guys that we look younger, a lot younger than our peers, because we started testosterone later on. So obviously the teenage boy's body, when testosterone is starting to rise up, it takes years for them from 14 until they are 22, 23 to like, it's a 8 year long process. And for us, it's because it started later, it's gonna show the effects later, I know that. But still, right now I'm not satisfied with my pimples just because of that. So that about the whole face change, I think I'm not as satisfied with it as I wanted it to be. Also, my facial hair, I know that it's a lot more than some people have, but it's also less than some people have on 6 months. So I think my facial hair, my face, and probably is because it shows the most. Like, okay, yeah, my bottom growth is amazing, but it could be bigger, obviously. Like, but no one sees that. But my face is out there all the time. I think my voice is good. It's still cracking. I want it to get a little bit deeper. It's not bad. It's not bad. But I wouldn't mind if it got deeper, and I think it will, because it's still cracky and I still cannot sing. So one of the reasons I want it to get deeper is to get it deeper. But the second is like, if it gets deeper and it like stops and process completed, then my voice will stop cracking and I will be able to sing again. And I really, really miss singing, and I hate the fact that I open my mouth and it's like, it sounds shit. It's creaky. It's really not good. And I'm not used to it, because when I was singing before the hormonal change, it was good. Like, I wanted to sing something and it sounded about quite about how it should be. So I was like, okay, this is the sound I hear, this is the sound I make, and it was 90% of the time the same sound, and it wasn't off key. And now it's almost always off key, because I just don't know how and where to pronounce sounds, because everything changed inside my throat, and I have to learn how to make the same noises, same notes again with this different equipment now that I have. and in a different key, but I cannot practice until my actual voice is like squeaky and cracky and all over the place. So I wanted to like done be done, and then I know that it's not time for that yet. I think it's like stops around 1 or 2 years, but yeah, I think like my voice is quite alright. My face, my facial hair, um, and my torso. I right now I would kill for a top surgery. And I found one in Spain, but I don't have the money for it yet. I have some in the bank. It's still less expensive. I gave up on the UK one. He has amazing results, but I checked the prices again, and year by year it's just like unethically high now. Like there's no way that I'm ever will be able to afford that. So then after that, I found one in Poland. His results were amazing as well. And then I found one that is a little bit more expensive, I think, than in Poland, but it's in Spain, and his results are, oh my god! I'm so happy that I found him, and I know that the maybe it's a little bit more expensive, but I also don't have to travel to Poland and then come back. And I know that the perfect timing would be now that I'm doing this volunteering stuff, because I can just get the weeks off that I need for the healing, and it's not an actual job where you do not have enough off days. You can just request, and it would be fine. It would be the best, but I don't have the money. Uh, I I didn't want to get my money that I have in the bank. Like I didn't want to get that out, because I don't want to um, not waste, but like spend all of my savings, because that is all of my savings from the work abroad and from my work in Hungary. Like it's years of if years of works savings, but for that, even if I took all of that out, it would still not be enough. So right now, I'm trying to put as much money on the side as I can from this volunteering stuff. Um, I'm really good at finding the cheapest stuff and the best offers, and not eating well and not being healthy, so I can spare some money. And I'm doing that, but I don't know if I will be able to. I would love to have it. um I think I was talking about that at Noche de San Juan. When we went to Malaga, I was topless, and I went into the sea like that, and I stayed on the shore like that a bit, and we had a photo shoot. Photo shoot, like we had a picture together with me being topless, and it was amazing. And that was the first time. Since then, I this Wednesday we went canyoning. Amazing. I said yes to it before actually knowing what it was, because the girl that I went with she's Spanish, and she said in Spanish the name of the activity. Like, I just like rock climbing but with rivers. Like, yeah, of course. And then I looked it up what canyoning meant, and we did exactly that. That was ropes and waterfalls and jumping, and it was amazing. It was the experience of my life. And it we started at 10 and we finished at 3:30, and it was a beautiful river in the mountains. Like you like neoprene from head to toe, and it was crystal clear water, and the mountains around you. Like you're walking in a little creek, and you look up, and it's just like rock cliffs, like walls of the mountain. You are inside the mountain. You feel like you are the water that's going through the cracks of the stone. Like you are actually making your way through the mountain, like inside. It's amazing. And the water was blue, and it was not too cool, not too warm, and it was amazing. Uh, but because we had to wear the neoprenes, and whatever you were wearing, it was under the neoprene, and it has no pockets. You cannot have anything on you. That from the car to the creek, it was like a 20-minute walk. We had to go just in swim shorts and our shoes, and that's it, because we couldn't have any clothes underneath the neoprene suits. So that meant that the girls were wearing bikinis, but I'm obviously not a girl, so I'm not gonna wear a bikini. But I didn't have top surgery yet, so and I don't know if the girl that I went to knows that I'm trans or not. She probably does, because I had to give her my name and information, because we had to make an insurance before going, if anything happens. And obviously it was like my official name, not my actual name. So I think she knows, but still I had to walk from the car to the creek, 20 minutes, talking with people that I didn't know, topless, and really hoping that I made a video being topless, and I sent it to my brother and my best friend, telling them that do not be gentle on me. Like if you saw me, on like just like this on the beach or anywhere, and you didn't know me, would you think that I'm a trans man not having top surgery, or would you think that oh that's like boobs, or not? And they both said that they wouldn't. Just the the act of getting your t-shirt off signals to others that oh this cannot be a girl, because a girl would never do that. And also like I never had like big boobs, but after and since testosterone they are like really small, and I'm working out, so they both said that it's a little bit, the shape is off, but the whole boobs shape is a little bit more rounded than it usually is with guys. But the size itself, like my brother said as well, that he saw men with bigger man boobs than this, like a lot bigger. The only problem is that I'm quite lean, so man boobs don't make sense on me. But the size of the nipples are really small, luckily, so they are not that giveaway, because I know that some women have a really big areola. So that's not the case for me, so that's good. So I think they didn't know that I'm those are actual boobs. Where my boobs have a little bit more substance in them than the usual. Um, and when we finished and we were waiting for the car, I also had to be topless, shirtless for like 30 minutes. We're walking and eating and talking. It was like, this is super uncomfortable. Like, I love the fact that I can be, and no one is obviously freaking out like, these are boobs, because they're not obviously boobs, but I still felt really exposed, and I wouldn't felt that way if I actually had top surgery. But my boobs is one thing. I cannot have top surgery right now, life. But I the shape, the hourglass shape, the shape next to my uh what's it called, waist, is not good. You know, like the fact itself that my waist is quite not my waist, my how is it called, that hip, my hips are really wide, um and my waist is small, so this gives the effect that I do not want to, like, hips, waist, and like, great, I have quite big shoulders, but it's still not the usual guy looking silhouette that I would go for. And whenever I think that actually it's quite good, like I actually am quite passing, and like, you know, then there's a new volunteer, a guy, and it's been nice, but he didn't know that I was trans, and it was actually funny because we knew each other for 30 minutes, and I was wearing a football shirt, like the most guyish item that I own. It was the World Cup in Spain, and we won. Sorry. So I was wearing a football shirt, so the most guyish item that I have. Okay, I had an earring on and harem pants, but I looked like a really hippie boy, rather than my usual really feminine, I don't know, boy. Uh, and in 30 minutes of me meeting with him, we went to the festival as soon as he arrived, like 20 minutes later. Like, actually, there's a free concert, do you want to come? And he had dreadlocks, so he was like French shade. And 30 minutes in, he was like, sorry to ask you this, but are you gay? Like, I'm so happy to be like visibly obviously passing gay now. I always wanted to be the boy that people look at and like, oh, that's gay, like he's gay, like I will put my half an arm as like he is gay, and I'm really happy to be that one. So that happened, but also like a couple of days later, we were just sitting in the garden. He was like, I don't know, like I may be out of line here, but you look really feminine. And at first, I was trying to brush it off, like yeah, I know, I'm trying to work out, but you know, it is what it is. And I asked him like, what exactly makes me feminine, like what are you thinking about? Because it was obvious that he wasn't talking about my style choices or my earrings, but my overall physique. And he was like for example, your waist, your hips are wider than your shoulders, and like, yeah. I think that was the point. That I said that yeah, I'm trying to work out, but you know, it is what it is. And then I was like in my mind like, oh fuck that, actually, like I'm not going to make up excuses. And was it hurt enough in itself that I don't want to just like lie about it to him as well. Like, actually, like, you're in you're in it for a surprise. Like, I'm trans, like I was born as a girl, so that's why. And he was totally chill about it, and ever since we're really good and cool, and wasn't talking about it anymore. But I went into a little bit of detail, like, yeah, 6 months in, like, I'm taking testosterone, and that's, but it hurt a lot. I know that he didn't intend it, it wasn't bad intention, but it still hurt. That even through clothes, and I was not like shirtless in front of him, and my clothes are not hugging my figure, or anything, and still he was like, noticed it right away that my hips are wider than my shoulders, and I have a really feminine um, build body. I'm like, yeah, great. I love it that you noticed it. So with that, and also my legs, oh my god, I love the canyoning, but the swimsuit, or like the neoprene stuff that we had on, it it's really tight. It's like a second skin, and it showed everything that I didn't want to show. And I had the time of my life, and then I watched the videos back and the photos back, and I looked like the most dainty, well structured woman ever. I don't know, my legs, my hips, my everything, it was just like peak feminine silhouette. Like, if it was just black and white drawing, that would be like, yeah, that's a super villain or like superhero girl. And I hate the fact that it happened. And also we had the harness on, and because we had to had the harness on really tight, because it had the carabiners and the ropes and everything, it it didn't help, because it's black, so it's going to make you look like more slimmer. Then it's really tight, so it's a second skin. And with, oh, I was sitting for so long. With these kind of clothes, you can hide your hips, but with that you cannot. And it's like, just like hugging your figure the best to its ability. So it's black, it's hugging your figure, and then on your the part that I'm most insecure about, you have to pull the harness as tight as you can. So it's like actually like having a belt on, and it makes your waist look like this, like a proper wasp. So I wasn't a fan of that. Uh, I don't even know. Like, I just, this is my shopping bag. I just stopped in the middle of nowhere to make this video, and I was really upset, as I said. And I think talking helped a bit, but I was really upset, and it was really, really like a bad mentally day for me. And my neurodivergence was like flaring up. Uh, so yeah, I think it was just like ranting or like ventilating. But overall, I'm happy. Like, this is good. 6 months in, I have a little bit of beard, I have a little bit of face. I don't mind that my face looks feminine. I like feminine boys. I like having soft features. um I like being a hippie boy. I like being a soft boy, a golden retriever, call it whatever you want. So I'm not actually like upset. It's just an upsetting day. But I about the fact that I'm 6 months, half a year on testosterone, I am absolutely amazed and really, really happy about. Like, maybe it didn't show in the video, but I am actually like amazed. Um, and I'm really looking forward to all the other stuff. And I know that the first month was the half dose, and it did nothing. It did some things, but it was really not the perfect amount for me. So the first month basically doesn't even count, or not the whole thing. And then I switched from gel to injections. So obviously it's not gonna be the same journey. Every person is different, but even if someone starts on a full dose and from day one they are on injections, it's gonna be different than my journey. But I think it's quite alright. And now, if I think about it, I have to ring the doorbell because I forgot my key and I have to talk to people. I don't want to, I don't know, crawl out of my skin. So I think things got a bit better. So it was a joy talking to you, and we see each other when we see each other. I think I will make a video after the 6 month appointment, because I will get my levels checked, and I will be able to share more information with you. So, see you. I'm out. Yes, and I forgot to talk about how moving to a different country where you don't speak the language doesn't help your anxiety at all, because you do not know what people are talking in the streets. And yes, in one way it's good because you cannot hear if they say anything bad, not that if they would, but it's just very exposed and very uncertain when you exist in a world and you go on the streets, and you, even if you have to like go around someone on the sidewalk, and you know that you do not speak their language or not as well as you want it to, and they don't speak English, and it's just like a whole other layer of really hard things. So I know that anyone who moves abroad has this problem, that it's really hard in the first couple of months because you don't have any friends, you don't speak the language, you feel like an outsider, and even after a year you feel like an outsider because you won't understand everything that they are saying and you feel excluded. So that obviously didn't help, and I am aware of that, so I'm trying to make myself consciously think about that. It's hard, but it's also hard because of this, and it's not my fault, and it's not my I don't know, error in my design that I cannot deal with it. It's hard for everyone, and obviously it's harder for me because of the way that my mind works. I just wanted to add that little stuff, that moving to a different country is amazing and Spain is amazing, but obviously it's such a big change, and yeah, you have to be aware that being in a country where you don't understand shit at first, and then after 2 months you still don't understand like 90% of the conversation, it's gonna take a toll on you.